Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44, or my Facebook page, True Divine 44. Like, shares, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated on either or both of those platforms, and much love to everybody who does that thus far. I'm putting out as much free content via tarot to help support, guide and inspire. I pick up the collective of energies around me. I'm trying to do it each day, especially with what we're going through right now, just to do my part. So I pick up the collective of energies and I translate those via tarot and bring them to you because they're general. Some of it might resonate, some of it might not, although like I've been saying the last few days, it is a very rare time right now when we are all consciously aware of the same things and the same aspects of life and very focused on them. So that creates a very focused energy, a very intentful energy. So they've been resonating pretty much spot on with most people from the messages that I've been getting anyway. So you can support me at this time by booking a private reading. Of course, I can do that via FaceTime or Skype. Also, I can do energy work if you're feeling anxious, if you feel a little bit out of control of your energy, help it bring it in to your control, help you feel calm. I can also do that via FaceTime or Skype via a session with you. So you can do that, or you can just support me if you can't book a private reading or any energy work, just by liking, sharing and subscribing and commenting. I'd love some more comments. So this is for the 26th of March 2020, and the first card is the Chariot, and it's the Chariot reversed, which is very interesting because we have two parts to play here, in that there's the Chariot that is moving in the reverse, i.e. that I feel is being brought to a bit of a halt because of the amazing humans that we have in the collective. This movement that has been created to feed the ego, feed illusion, move in the wrong direction for the many, has started to come to a bit of a sticky situation, or it is starting to today in particular, because there's a real feeling of people being aware and being more alert, and being more questioning to what's going on right now, what really is behind the scenes, what are we being fed. So there's that real screeching halt almost coming to this Chariot, which is really it's really good. It's a really positive thing. So on the other side, for the individuals that this may resonate with, it's the fact that where your Chariot in itself, where you felt like you were just flowing along with what is going on right now, and going along with the motions, going along with the certain commands that were being sent out from the prime ministers to the governments to the presidents, all of a sudden it might be a little bit difficult today for you guys, in that there's been this build-up, this consent over a lifetime of just going with what is thrown at you from the powers that be. And it's a real day for feeling a little bit broken, in that it's a difficult thing when ego is faced with truth, when illusion is smashed with truth, and the fact that you've been fooled, or the fact that you've gone along with something that you shouldn't have gone along with, without questioning, without being observant and alert. So it's a little bit difficult today for those that resonates with, in that it's not a nice feeling to think that you've been, even have the ability to be fooled, and have the ability to go along with massive illusions. So there's lots of egos crashing down on both sides right now. But this is very necessary, and reach out, take some time to self as well, which isn't too hard in isolation, although if you've got children it is. But you know, take some time to self, be kind to self while you're transmuting these things, while you're starting to have that eye opened to the reality of the control systems that are this Chariot in reverse. And and face that ego in a kind, compassionate way to self. That not one of us has not been fooled at some point. Not one of us has not gone along with the illusion for the sake of what seemed to be an easier life without thinking through the full consequences. This Chariot in its reverse thinks long term. It's a long player, and it has a very definite direction. And when you're faced with pulling away and going in the opposite direction, it hurts a little bit, it smarts a little bit. But take time to self-transmute it. It's very necessary. We need you to be conscious, alert and aware. We need everybody in the collective to be conscious, alert and aware. This is time to stand up, and where we go together, we are strong. Where we are separate and divided, we are weak and can be very easily taken in by the Chariot, and or if we're not taken in, but the rest of the collective isn't doing what you're doing today, this very necessary ego smashing, illusion smashing process, then all sides of the collective still get hurt by this Chariot in reverse, because it's a numbers game, very much so. So in this Chariot in reverse, picture it as a numbers game in the banking system, in the control that those numbers, those enormous numbers have, but also start to think of us as the collective being enormous numbers, and made up of enormous skills and awareness and strength when we are together. So to clarify this card, we have the Three of Wands, and this is partly where there's for the people that this resonates with, you've been going in the opposite direction of this Chariot in reverse for a long time. You've been alert and aware for a long time. You've been going against the said grain for a very long time, and it feels like there's an opening here today, an opportunity here today for you to really get those creative ideas flowing of how you could make money differently, how you could instill a different way of being via your business that is going to create an income, that is going to create some passion around it, some following around it, and that's a real beautiful window opening up for those that have been going against this Chariot in reverse for a long time and are finding ways, because there's a lot more people who are going through this ego smashing and illusion smashing process, that are now open to those creative ideas, and they're open to a different way of doing things, a different way of being with one another in business and in personal life. So that's a real opportunity for a lot of people to jump on today, whether that be just writing your ideas down, getting them in the process, in the thought space, in the manifestation space, or whether that's actually you're ready to jump in and start putting something out there that the collective are really going to respond to, and going to respond to it well. So that's it's a very good day. There was something else I wanted to say about this Chariot. I can't think, it'll come back to me. So the second card is the Ace of Cups that keeps coming up. There's a real ripple effect, like throwing a pebble in the water and seeing the ripples. There's a real beautiful ripple effect that even in the hysteria of what's going on right now, there's this awakening, there's this awareness, this alertness coming into fruition, and this collectiveness and connectedness between people who have been forced to be separated, forced to be isolated, but yet again the human spirit proves to be more powerful, more enduring, and finds ways to be creatively connected. We're dropping things off to vulnerable neighbours and feeling that passion again for doing something for somebody else in your community. We're leaving things even at the doorstep. My daughter left a bunch of flowers at the doorstep for somebody the other day, just to brighten up their day, and that gave such a a feeling of, yes, this is how we can be. We don't have to be this triggery, narcissistic, divided society. Actually, we can be connected in a very different way. And for a lot of people, there's a realization of the true connectedness of everyone and everything. And it's a little bit of an overwhelming feeling, a little bit of a bringing tears to your eyes feeling of, one, for how could I have forgotten this for so long? How have I could have not known this for a lifetime? And two, the gratefulness, the gratitude for being able to feel this, to being able to know this emotion, this connectedness that we're feeling. So it can be a little bit overwhelming. So just flow with it, just go with it today, and do what you're guided to do, to maintain and strengthen that connectedness. Again, that's where the power is. To clarify, this card is the Hierophant. And this Hierophant, we've covered him quite a lot in the daily reads, but you know, he crosses all realms. He brings everything together, and he shares knowledge, and the knowledge is out there. No longer are as many people calling the conspiracy theorists, I call them truth tellers, conspiracy theorists anymore. They're listening, and they're finding the avenues of finding out this information, but being in a place in their life, because of where they've been forced to be, of actually working in the opposite way that this Chariot reverse wanted it to work, but also making them open to the teachings that this Hierophant brings down across all realms into the physical reality for you to be able to use, transmute, and live by. So that even that can be quite overwhelming and can contribute to this ego illusion smashing day process that you're going through. So because it's the realization of everything was different, everything is different, everything was upside down, and now I see the truths, the truth about spirituality, the truth about our physical makeup, the truth about the connectedness to all things, all realms, all beings, and that can be very overwhelming, a beautiful feeling, but a little bit of a adrenaline rush almost that people are feeling, which is an awesome thing, and again, very, very necessary. And for me, just proves once again that the universe actually has our back. It's just maybe that the collective, in the right amount of numbers, hasn't been listening to those signs and signals and teachings that can come through all of these various routes in our universe, and bring us into a place of knowing, into a place of awareness. So the third card being the Water King. Now this Water King, you know, he is absolutely in control of his emotions. Yes, he's a very emotional character, very compassionate character, but actually in a way, in a very different way to what many in the collective have been taught about emotions, in that his emotions work for him. He doesn't serve his emotions. He doesn't have trigger points. He's managed to go through life with the energy, and this is whether you're male or female, of recognizing red flags, recognizing emotions that may come over him that aren't actually his and aren't his to own, and he's not reactionary. And that is a key thing for today, to not be reactionary. It couldn't be more important, actually, to not react to certain gameplays, to certain chess moves that are made by various different characters in the game, some of them that you wouldn't even believe. This king stays very balanced, very calm, and is able to sit on his emotions and use his emotions to actually seek truth, and be discerning about what is true, what is his to own, what is his to act on, and what is not. So that's a place that we all need to get into if you're not already into that place, because it's a much more calm, much more tranquil, much more controlled way to be, and safer way to be. Because when we've got trigger points, we can react in ways that are predictable to others, but for us, we don't even see what we're doing. We don't even recognize the fact that we are doing exactly what somebody else planned for us to do. So it's this balance of emotions and control, and lack of trigger points that this king has. This king stands for diplomacy and not war. in that there is a need to be kind to those that aren't in this place. You're not going to get anywhere by preaching the truths that you've learnt, and this overwhelming passion can make you want to push it in people's faces and, you know, tell people exactly how it is. But there's a balance here to go from this space of having this overwhelming urge and overwhelming emotion to share all of these teachings that you're now able and open to listening to and learning from. It's then to step into the energy of this king and know that all in good time. And you know, it's no good speaking to people who aren't ready. So he is very diplomatic in the way that he delivers his information to and who he delivers that information to. So to clarify, this card is the Seven of Wands. So there's conflict that's happening around this king, around this kingly energy, who is staying calm in the eye of the storm. And that is the key thing here today, is to stay calm in whatever storm comes your way. Do not be triggered by it. Do not be reactionary to it. Be calm and balanced, and be able to just sit in it, to allow it to, because things will unravel, things will be unveiled. Something I love about my daughter is, and something I have to work on because I like to talk, is that she doesn't fill up the space, especially with people who are in this Seven of Wands energy, who are wanting this conflict. She says very few words. But what she says, because she says very few words, when she says things, they're very poignant, they're very purposeful. And people just have a knack of stopping and listening to her. But she allows people to dig their own grave, so to speak. I've watched this happen. And because she doesn't feel the urge to fill up a silence in a conversation, people within that conversation have seen it happen, fill up the silence. But because they're filling up the silence out of a reactionary measure, because the silence is uncomfortable to them, they can't read what she's feeling or what she's thinking regarding them, actually their real motives, their real nature is unveiled. So allow this conflict to ride out, allow these things to ride out, but be very balanced in the eye of this storm, and you will have things revealed to you, both in your personal life and on the wider stage, in particular on the wider stage, truths that we need to know, truths that are going to open up more eyes each day that follows on from today. So let them get on with it, so to speak. And this king doesn't live in fear. This king lives in a calm, tranquil state. Because he doesn't live in fear, these energies around him can cause up and whip up as much of a storm as they like. He stays balanced, he stays firm and grounded, and is just observant of the things that are being unveiled by the people and the energies that are causing this storm. So that's something to really take note of today for the 26th of March. On the bottom of the deck we have the Moon card. So today I really feel, again, it's a double-edged sword in that there's two stories playing out here, in that there's people still living under this illusion and helping cause this storm. There's people still really enthralled and embedded in this illusionary state of what's going on right now, and are helping contribute to the fear and whipping up this conflict between others. And then there's the other side of it, where there's people who are using the light of the moon, using the energy of the moon, the divine feminine of the moon, to really build up the psyche muscle, to really start to stretch that psyche, to really start to stretch that intuition, those gifts that maybe a lot of people have forgotten or never knew they had in this lifetime. So there's two sides to it. So again, there's many kings in this energy staying balanced and calm, even though they have this overwhelming, passionate feeling to tell all of these other people that are helping contribute to whipping up this storm, this illusion So there's two sides, and the important thing is this king does not give the other side what it wants. He does not give them permission or reason to bring in war, bring in maybe martial law, to bring in. He just doesn't give them that. He doesn't fill up those empty spaces in the conversation. He just allows them to show their true colours, and the true colours are shining through, and they're shining through big style. Take note of things. Be this king, just take note. Remember names, remember gameplays, remember contradictions, and that'll help you really stretch that psyche muscle, and bring it into the physical of being able to be discerning, and to be full of clarity rather than dust and foggy eyes, dust in your eyes. On the bottom of the other deck, we have the Ten of Air, which keeps coming up, and it's just, yes, this is a difficult time. Yes, this has a lot of pressure to it, but actually more and more people are making the most of it and starting to recognize that from here on in, this is a rolling, day by day ending of a cycle. This is a rolling day by day ending of old constructs that do not work, but it is important to stay on board with self and to not live in fear, not live in the pain that these swords have caused, but actually look forward and manifest and visualize collectively and individually the future that we would all like to see when this is all past. That actually we could be living in a very different age, a very different cycle, and a very different way of dealing with each other, and doing all things like business, health, designs that we can live by and use in a very different way that's kinder to the earth. There's so much that can come from this, that we can, what is meant for harm can be flipped around and turned for good. But we need to stay on board, we need to stay collectively strong, and do that collective visualization for us to come out of this cycle in a very positive way. So that's for the 26th of March 2020. I hope that helped. I hope that supported and inspired you today to go on and make the best of your day. I'll try and be back later because I want to do a video that something came to me this morning. So I'll try and do a video later on this afternoon. Again, I'd like to remind you, if you want to support me, you can book a private reading or an energy workout session, and we can do that via FaceTime or Skype, or if you know of a better modem, of a better way of doing it, I'll try and install it and accommodate it at my end. You can catch me on Messenger, just put in capitals the service that you want, just so I can see it amongst all the other messages, or you can contact us on any of the details either above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it. But for now, stay balanced, be whole, and I love you all. Mwah.